All right, welcome back to a brand new video of the Targeted Individual Program. Target Individual Experience, Target Individual Programming. So, New York Police Department, again, with their coercive threats, and again, I keep telling them that I'm going to film every minute, every second of it, every day, every week, every month, every year. And so, I gotta thank my brother, fellow TI, who sent me a video of a congresswoman who the FBI removed from her office on declassified documents about MKUltra and the assassination of JFK, MLK. You know, they're trying to cover up their secrets. They are trying to cover their secrets, and anybody, even when it's declassified, right? So there are other documents. These are newly declassified documents that they don't want out there, all right? Because again, they can what is called plausible deniability, right? If people don't know about it, and they do, right? They can always say, you know, I don't know what you're talking about, but that's what they do. I understand the corruption in this government is so rampant. And this is not just this administration. This is even in the Obama administration, going back to Biden, to Obama, to Bush, to Clinton, to Bush Sr., right? We're talking about the corruption that is rampant, right? Including Nixon and Trump. Probably the two most corrupt presidents we ever had. And, you know, it has, particularly what's going on here, it has put America as a laughingstock to the world. Oh, look at this. 7323. Yeah, another new vehicle. Look at that. I can tell you, they find them. I don't know whatever the hell they find them for. Well, New Hampshire. Oh, look at that, man. Let me tell you. Again, proving what I say. Proving what I say. It's funny now because they're walking by, you know, yawning, so I'm doing the same thing too. You're looking at my phone like, oh yeah, it's not working. Oh yeah, it's working. It's working. It's working. In your president department? Oh yeah, it's working. Like I said, TIs, they're going to try to make it seem like, you know, you're exposing what it is that they do that it's not working. It's working. That's why you don't see them, right? That's why they do these hit and run attacks. I talk about that, right? They get emboldened, but they will be exposed. So yeah, it's working. Don't ever. One of the things that, you know, particularly when you have people in positions of power and they try to discredit you, right? Is the fact that they know they're being exposed, and you know, that's why they do what they do. Then on top of that too, what was it? Like, you know, yes, Pam, like again, you know, she's been, today she called me after work. I'm like, oh, why you call? Well, I didn't say why you calling me, but again, I talk about her behavior, right? And the behavior never changed. The behavior pattern never changed. Which again, it's been what, maybe a couple months before she left work that she's actually calling me, telling me that, oh, she's heading home and this and that and such and such. And I'm like, come on now. You know? I'm like, come on now. So yeah. So she called me yesterday. The day before I didn't really answer. But she sent me a text that she's leaving work, and I'm like, okay. I said, you know, it's funny how her mindset is. And like I tell her, she's complaining about how her heart hurts. So I just ignore it. I ignore it because she doesn't even take her health seriously. Like I said, until something happens, and then she's just, like you tell me, you're too reactionary. You're not proactive enough. And so now I don't, now I just kind of like, I kind of just ignore her because, like I said, the pattern never changed. She is who she is. All right, and okay, I guess I don't want to go from the front, huh?
Please exit through the control. Next stop, Church Avenue and Rogers Avenue. This stop is Church Avenue and Rogers Avenue. Next stop, Church Avenue and Melstrom Avenue. Transfers available to the 2 and 5 trains, B35 needed, B44 and B44 SES. Please exit through the rear door.
Hello. What's going on? You okay?
All right, thank you. Oh, that's going down. I'm going the other way. Look at New York, right?
This stop is Church Avenue and Melstrom Avenue.
Going down. next block. Yeah, next.
Next stop, Church Avenue and New York Avenue. Transfer available to B44.
No, keep going the other way.
Going the other way?
Yeah.
Why you going the other way?
Up New York.
Junction only go one way, Papa.
No, after 44, go up New York.
So you going to New York?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, thank you. I think you following us. How are you doing? Not too bad, thank you.
This stop is Church Avenue and Kings Highway. Please exit through the rear door. Next stop, Church Avenue and Remsen Avenue. Transfers available to B17, B47, and B8.
Got it? Shaking the keys. 7331. License plate number. Excuse me? It's 373123.
This stop is Church Avenue and Hudson Avenue.
Thank you. Have a good night. All right. Welcome back to a brand new video of the Target Individual Program, Target Experience. So you guys just saw again the New York Predators Department using civilians to engage in coercive persuasion threats, psychological harassment, right? Covert warfare, covert psychological warfare, and so forth. So the blocking theme, I talk about that, right? Now there were plenty of spaces for her to sit down, but the woman, block up the front of the bus. And then as the New York Predators Department, it was driving by, she looks over where the police was turning from and start doing the hand signals. That's why I called it out, right? Because immediately I saw it, I called it out. And because that's what they do. The harassment, the constant manipulation, right? The microchipping and trying to get away with it. So they've been testing my memory, you know what I'm saying? And I noticed it, but like I said, they will base it on the fact that I talked about, when it comes to my targeting, I've trained my mind a certain way in terms of recognizing what it is that they do. But outside of that, my memory not so good. But like I said, they will use the, when it comes to the injury that they cause me and others, right? It has to be so severe. But when it comes to the cognitive and the psychological damage, they will, again, engage in this, being that he remembers what it is that he was supposed to pick up or he's supposed to do, right? Then, we have not caused them any. I know what it is that they do. Like I said, I studied it. I look at the system, I always say, I study the system, I look at it for what it is, from the NFL concussion discrimination suit brought by black players, the fact that that even when black players have the same concussions as white players, okay, they are denied medical insurance for concussion, right? So not only do the black players have to be in a severe condition for them to even consider getting insured for concussion, whereas the white players have to show signs of concussion, and that's it. That's it. Right? So again, I want you to understand how the bar is always going to be set high for us, whether it's, the injury that they cause us, that it has to be so severe. And then also the use of, again, psychiatry and the weaponization of psychiatry to continue engaging in psychological manipulation against us and psychological damage against our people, right? And this is what they do. And like I said, this is why I show and document what's taking place, because I have to. So, look, looking in the basement. Look at it. What I was talking about, I was looking in the basement over there. Look. Right? It's ridiculous, and that's why I don't really pay it any mind. But I call it out when I see it, and I explain why it is what they do, in terms of what they do. All right. So also, and again, we tend to, particularly our women, tend to not want to listen. So I was watching Dr. Ritchie Indisputable, and you had a black woman being stopped by a white police officer in Georgia. Right? She asked him, why you, she rolled down her window, why you pulling me over for? He's like, get out of the car, I want to talk to you. She's like, for what? You're a police officer. If you pull over for a traffic violation, there is no reason for her to get out of the car. You ask for her license, registration, tell her why you pulling her over, and that's it. But no, when I talk about the power tripping, the psychopath and sociopath within law enforcement, I should say predator law enforcement, the dog tribe personality types, and now that you see that Trump is in office and they've gotten rid of a lot of black people within the U.S. government, now they're showing you who they are on their true self. And they beat this woman so bad. They literally, she had braids in her hair. They literally pulled out, right? Look, you're a predator department. See that? Look. Right? So they literally pulled out half of the braids that she had in her hair. All right? Let me see if I can get the license there, but I can't see from that far. I mean the vehicle number. Hear the noise? 3731. Right? Yeah, 3731. Okay, so like I said, look. You going to the base, look, you going to the base, but let me do it for you. Let me do it for you. Look, you laughing, he smiling. Look. See what I said? I tell you, you recognize the pattern, you study their pattern, you observe, study, and you come back and you give it to them right back. All right? Look. So, like I said, they beat this woman so bad. Black woman. Gave her a black eye. Her eyes were totally closed. Right? And like I said, these are the same Negropeans that will participate in targeting us as TIs, right? That's what I said. That's why I call them the DANs, right? The dumbass Negropeans, right? The dumbass Negropeans. Okay? Yeah, sirens. Why the sirens? Because they know I got their ass again. Showing a pattern of harassment. That's all. That's why they do what they do. And I expose them. And it's going to happen every time they do it. But anyhow, yeah, and then I posted another video, again, indisputable, where you had a police officer pulled over a veteran who is disabled with her disabled husband, and they left them on the side of the road overnight. Like literally left them on the side of the road overnight. This woman she is an amputee. I think one of her legs is amputated, right? And, the police chief talking about officers have a level of discretion. These motherfuckers don't have no discretion. You know what I'm saying? When I talk about discernment, predator police officers have no level of discernment. They will always escalate shit because they are predators. You cannot challenge anything. It's not like you're challenging their authority. You have a right to know what it is that they're pulling you over for. Right? You have that right. You have that right to call for a supervisor, and they're supposed to get a supervisor on scene before they interact with you again. As long as you're not fleeing or anything like that. Right? So it's in their policies. Right? But that's not what they do. They escalated because, like I said, they have developed the dog triad personality traits within Predator Police Department and Predator Police officers. Okay? How come they claim to be like China is so restricted and so and communist and such? How come you don't see people in China getting beat up like that? You don't see that, right? So again, we have to start looking at our reality and start, come out of that, as Bob Marley said, your sleep is slumber. Look at her in the basement. They got another perp. Look, they got a female perp now. See, look, where did he go? Did he leave? Oh yes, he left. See that? So I already caught his ass. So now they sent her. Look, now they sent her, right? You see what I'm saying? Now they sent her. Right? You see what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. Like I said, whatever they do to me will be done to them. They try to make me homeless, they're going to be homeless. Try to take up my disability, take their pension away. I hope, I should say, you know, if I was, you know, other nations, I would be hacking into their pension and draining the money out of their pension, since they want to hack into our bank account as targeted individual and try to steal our money. Hack into their bank account too. Hack into their pension and drain that shit, right? It's only fair, right? And it will be justified, right? It will be justified. Hack into their pension and take that shit. Okay? Right? That will be their, as Aldo say, their comeuppance, their karma. I use the sirens. Very, very low. I'll tell you, hilarious. I keep saying, nigga parents will be like, you know, you go get your karma. Well, the shit that they do, they don't realize that they're gonna get their karma? Huh? They don't realize that, do they? Okay. See, that's what religion do. Right? They use it as an excuse to commit violence and all sorts of crime against individuals and groups of people. And when it's done to them, then they cry being victimized, right? Being persecuted. But they do this, but they started first. You know what I'm saying? They started first. So, okay, guys, like I said, they started with me, I didn't start with them. Right? They started with me. I did not start with them. Because I wouldn't even do this to anybody. That's what makes me different from them. So when they want to talk about morality, they have no morality. Right? Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, a bunch of chickens. The New York Pussy Department now. Look at them. Look at them. Very, very low, right? Come on. Why don't you drive by and make it loud? All right? Wow. Look how crowded this bus is, right? Now, have you ever? It's been a long time since the bus like this crowded like this. Jeez.
You were waiting on the 17 bus for an hour. I'm on time.
This guy. Tell you, my brothers, man. Instead of letting the women and children go first, he jumps in front of them.
Ubers and Lyft too. You don't have to wait an hour.
And then the lady with the cane too, right? Let me tell you. Some of our brothers are just, I don't know what to say, man.
I need a priority seat for this lady, please. Please and thank you.
Thank you. Brother just jumped in front of the woman in the chairman and the one lady with the cane. I tell you.
Because she goes by. You see water time.
Excuse me.
That was an MJD or MJD. WJD 532. Is it either MJD 532 or either WJD 532? My eyes is not really that good right now.
Right here, girl.
Appreciate it, brother.
It's alright, man. You know, you see them driving very aggressive tonight. Oh, that's a W.
How important it is to give
Yeah?
to people that have the right of way. So much in a rush.
Yeah, you know, man. Yeah, I see the dude that was in the right lane. He was supposed to turn.
Right.
And
exactly.
you know.
And then at the last minute just switched back to, and you saw his signal was still on as
Yep.
it's going straight.
Cause an accident, man. That's
So
what they do.
I got to see all these things.
Please exit through the rear door.
Oh yeah. Okay, when they start driving aggressive like that, you're always going to see. They're going to be specific days where you see a lot of people on the road driving aggressive.
Friday night.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Trying to hurry up, rush, go out or something.
Oh shit, I'm getting off here. Sorry, I couldn't reach the.
Brother, have a good night.
You too, man. Take care. Appreciate it. Have a good weekend. Yeah, sirens. Tell you, whenever I engage in a little bit of conversation with the bus drivers now, they will they start using the sirens, right? Hilarious. It is what they do to harass you to the point where they think that you're going to self-isolate and not say anything. And you know, like I said, you gotta figure out how they target you, the manner in which they target you, study it, observe, study, and you develop a defense mechanism. Because the very same people, they'll talk to you, sometimes they will engage in conversation based on how they're targeting you, you know? Because again, it's to try to create a level of paranoia. You know, I do my videos exposing them, they'll be like, oh, he's paranoid. Really? Well, let's see. I can explain everything that is done to me, and I can do it in a way in which they cannot deny it. They can, but I always, like I said, I have the evidence. I record, I document. I know the psychological tactics, the coercive persuasion programming methods and tactics. All right, the Xerxes Zoom tactics, right? The decomposition of a person or group within the society by the state. State meaning either state government, federal government, police, federal police department and agencies. All right. And I talk about police drugging people they arrest, brainwashing them, even microchipping them. They say, oh, it's conspiracy theory. Well, go search out Holman Square, or go Google police department in America have CIA style black site in which people are arrested, tortured, drugged, and so forth. And then come and tell me that's conspiracy theory. And I talk about BCI, brain computer interface, not being something that's new. Go and read the book by Dr. Jose Delgado, The Psycho-Civilization of Society. At least I'm not sure if that's the exact name of it, but just go look up Dr. Jose Delgado, CIA doctor. Go read the New York Times article. Go read the New York Times article called What Kind of Human Would You Like to Create? In 1970. Interview with Dr. Delgado. And then there talks about the microchip implanted into the shoulder of a rhesus monkey to control the behavior of the rhesus monkey. Go and read Dale Dimsdale, Dark Psychology, when she talks about Jim Jones, right, the so-called cult leader, right, who befriended a U.S. senator, and this U.S. senator exposed to him that the United States government was working to develop microchip black people. And that same U.S. senator was killed, and they blamed it on Jim Jones. Not only that, but there was a CIA agent planted within his religious organization, and it was the CIA that literally laced the Kool-Aid, or whatever it is they was drinking, with cyanide, killing them, all right? And that same CIA agent fled and went to, I think, it was some island in the Caribbean, and they wired him $5 million in payment. So, you know, a lot of shit that they, I said, you know, New York Predators Dept uses sirens. Yes, I know. And people will know. And I want to make sure that they do know. All right? So when I look at what's happening, you know, the FBI raiding the congressional office of a U.S. Congresswoman who was reviewing the newly declassified documents on MK Ultra and so forth, and they raided her office to retrieve those documents because they don't want people to know what it is that they're doing and who is involved. They don't want that. So they are going to hide, you know, their crimes, and because they're in a position of authority, they're able to do that, right? And like I said, the only how we as TI is going to prove what's happening to us is if we prove it. We document. But you can't just document just to document. You got to document like I do, and in the description, you also got to describe what it is that they're doing to you. All right? But then you also got to be aware, because they will try to set you up. So you got to be aware of what it is that you say and how you say it. Because they will use anything. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was to say hypothetically, and I'm going to say hypothetically, that if I was to say, you know, that I wish that another foreign country would hack into a certain agency, whatever, and name the agency, they can come and arrest me for, like, that's a threat, right? You got to understand how they do these things. So that's what I always say. You say, you know, that's why there's certain things in how you say it, it's important. Like I say, if they're hacking my account, then their account should be hacked. All right? I'm not saying that just because I hate them all here. No, because that's what they're doing to me. So I want it done to them too. Let them get their karma. Right? You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be aware of these things. You don't make threats. Like I said, I don't threaten people. I respond to a threat though, and I respond to a threat with a threat. He waving at me. Jewish guy. I appreciate it, man. I'm sorry for laughing, but I'm only laughing because I know it's just the harassment shit that they do. You know, because they have them involved in targeting me. And like I said, you know, if their ancestors knew what they were doing now today, their ancestors would come back and slap them in the face. Slap their asses in the face. Just like our ancestors come back today and see how we are today. Yeah, slap our ass, most of us in our faces. I say, what the hell are you doing? All right? So, I'm telling you, but you know, like I said, I can't fully blame them, and I can't fully blame us, because they've been lied to. They've been lied to. You know, just like you have the Arabs in Egypt, right? They've been lied to, but because they profit off of our ancestors' ancient civilization, you know, They think that is their culture, but it's not their culture because they're Arabs. The people of Kemet know that they view themselves as Kemet, as people of Kemet, right? As black Africans, not Arabs, right? So these Arabs, conquered Egypt from the Romans in 630 something, right? They didn't bother to restore the monuments. What did they do? They robbed it. Right? 1,000 years later, well, more than 1,000 years later, about 1,000 years later, right? When when the French went into Egypt, took it from the Arabs, and started excavating because they were buried in the sand. So the Arabs, Arab people that was there, they would go into the temples and the tombs and the pyramids and steal the artifacts because it didn't belong to them. They have no cultural relevancy in terms of who they are to those ancient cultures, right? How could it be your ancestors? Your ancestors not even Roman or Greek or African. So how could it be your culture? So I want you to understand how nations of people can be deluded into believing something that's not true, and they will desecrate, particularly because it was a black culture, that they will desecrate our ancestors' temples and monuments and so forth, right? Disturb our ancestors' burial chambers. You want to know why? Because when you go to their culture, it's not there. You don't see it in Saudi Arabia. You don't see it in Libya. You don't see it in Syria. You don't see it in these other so-called Arab nations, right? You don't see that. But you see it in Kush, Sudan, right? You see it there, right? You see it in Ethiopia. Okay? So again, you got to look at the reality, my people. You got to look at the reality and come into the mindset of knowing. And you need to get rid of that believing mindset. All right? Anyway, talk to you guys in the next video.